High Ground Podcast in isolation. Stevie.
Yeah, and Callum.
Yeah, okay. Let's apologize now for the sound. So, Star Trek Picard, the two-part finale. Gonna have
Oh,
spoilers in here. So,
yeah,
what did you think?
yeah. I thought it was incredible. I was kind of holding back the tears at the end, if I'm honest.
I, I can see why, because of Picard himself. But I'm always this is gonna sound really weird. It's for me. It's when the next gen come involved. So when Riker's there to help
Yeah,
save the day, that's what got it for me because it's
yeah, that was nice. Just seeing Riker as a captain as well,
yeah
finally, because you never got to see it in the series, and Data got a better send off than Nemesis. I think that was
yeah
kind of a little sort of retcon, wasn't it?
yeah it was nice having him in some like internet type thing, whatever it was,
Yeah,
having his
yeah.
consciousness out there. I thought that was nice,
I love
and
Sherlock Holmes' smoking jacket.
yeah. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's just pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sure that's because he likes Sherlock Holmes, doesn't
yeah,
he, in the series? I'm sure it's like supposed to be that.
I thought I think this is the thing. Just came to me, especially when we just say about Riker, is they've managed to create a family again
Yeah,
in these. Is it 10 episodes? 8 episodes?
yeah, 10, yeah.
So they managed to create a family environment where you actually care for all the characters again, which is good. But like I said, seeing Troy and Riker in the series is good, but having Riker come back and of course Data and
Yeah, and the big one for me, actually, that really worked coming back was Seven of Nine. I think
she's
she's been
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Not being tied to sort of, like Voyager is, to fans, it's the worst one, isn't it? So I think having her on her own is a kind of sort of breath of fresh air for her.
Yeah, I mean, I actually watched the pilot for Voyager the other day on just after I finished watching Picard
Oh,
because I
yeah,
wanted to see
Caretaker,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
I enjoyed it. But I've saved the Next Generation now until I've got a moment where I can actually sit down and thoroughly enjoy Next Generation. But I
Yeah,
really, it's reignited. I can't say a passion for Star Trek because I was really a Next Generation fan, but
an interest.
interest, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
do like. I think the characters, the next gen characters are the strongest of
Oh, definitely, yeah. They're the one you get the most sense of like you say, a family feeling from, aren't they? Like, I mean, I think it's quite true as well in real life that they're still best friends, isn't it?
yeah. Probably look how many times they've appeared together and stuff. I mean, uh,
Yeah.
but
The only thing I find that's a bit sad about TV nowadays that possibly would have made the next generation be cancelled now is that if it was shown nowadays, is that there's always a pressure to have like season one of something be the best it can be, and like this is the way that the show's going to be. Whereas when Next Generation was out, it was a great show, but it didn't pick up for me till season three. That's the show I remember it being the greatest it could be. It had these first two seasons of there was some great episodes, but there was some rubbish ones as well. But they gave it the chance to grow. That doesn't happen now. Like if a show has one bad episode, I kind of get the impression it's, oh, can it?
yeah, it is. You have to. They have to. It's the same with music. If a band released a bad album and a studio a record label had faith in them, they would let them have two or so bad albums until they hit the one they need. Now it's if your album's a flop, you get dropped, and it's the
Yeah.
same with franchises. You look at the way franchises have gone, but Star Trek wouldn't have lasted today.
Oh, no way, no. I don't even know if Star Wars would have. There's our drinking game.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna get hammered. We'll do that as soon as the quarantine's over. We'll get absolutely hammered. Do podcasts. That would be good. Not to don't try if you're under 18, please don't try this at home, or 21 or whatever wherever
No.
you are. Don't try this at home because every time we say Star Wars, you will be hammered within 5 minutes.
Pissed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Star Wars in today's then again, we go into the whole thing. If it wasn't for Star Wars and even Star Trek, we wouldn't be where we are in terms of entertainment because they both had a cultural impact.
Yeah.
So it's
100%. I mean, it's quite a sad way to live now, isn't it? Really, like in terms of films and TV, that the first time you try something, it has to be a success.
Yeah.
It's not how it works sometimes.
Yeah, you need sometimes it has to find its feet. You can't hit. It's very rare that a show will completely hit the ground running.
Oh yeah.
In the sense that this is excellent, and if it does, if it gets the high point to start with, then it just can only go downhill.
Yeah, it's a bad message to sort of spread to any artist, though, really, isn't it? Because you're sort of trying to say you better deliver on the first one or you're done, and that's not like the first one can be like a first author's book is always not as good as the rest of them because they haven't honed their craft yet. So that's kind of like saying, well, you might as well chuck that out and stop writing because you haven't got it in you.
Yeah.
And I think that's sad that we're like that now.
Bit of a quote from Back to the Future. I don't think I could take that kind of rejection.
Yeah.
It's about.
No, I've thoroughly enjoyed Picard, though, I must admit. I've really enjoyed it.
Same here. I mean, like I said, if anything, it's the same with like Marvel films. This goes into that you should want to invest your time. If you see a show like that, like I did with Picard, you want to invest your time in finding out more about these characters or going back and revisiting the Next Generation. For me, watching Voyager for the first time, that's what it's done for me. It's made me want to actually go back. I went and bought as you know, and infused all the lovely listeners. A few weeks ago, when I started watching Picard, wanted to start watching the original Star Trek movie, so I went and got them on Blu-ray, the original. So yeah, and I actually watched the motion picture the other day. So
yeah.
That's another thing for our Versus podcast, which we'll do soon. Star Trek versus Khan.
Okay.
That's going to be an interesting one.
So I've got a feeling I've got Khan.
You can have the motion picture if you like.
Do you know what though? No, I actually, when you said about watching the motion picture, I actually went and watched it as well, and it is a really good film.
Yeah.
I think it like time has mellowed it, has matured it, sort of.
We'll save this for the podcast, but because I don't want to literally throw out all our good stuff now. But it's good, isn't it?
It is good. Yeah, it's that sort of pioneering attitude that you like so much about Star Trek. They're going out and finding strange new worlds and new civilizations, that sort of thing. And I think it just kind of feels like a long episode, something.
And it works for me. It really
does work, yeah.
It really does, and I've got to say was it Jerry Goldsmith's score?
Oh yeah.
On point completely. But back to Picard, like we should. I gotta admit, I liked Michelle Hurd's Raffi. I liked the complexity of her character. Her at the end with her holding hands with. She holds hands with Agnes, doesn't she? Jurati.
No, 7 and 9, isn't it?
Oh, I knew it was. I only watched it once. I knew it was someone she was holding hands with. Yeah,
that didn't bother me as much as a lot of fans have said online, because it's been, the usual, like, oh, you can't have a Jerry character now.
Why not?
And
it worked.
Yeah, well, originally Jerry Taylor, the creator of Voyager, she actually wrote Seven as a bisexual character, but wasn't allowed to pursue it. So I think nowadays is the best time to sort of do stuff like that now.
It's Rios and Jurati that were holding hands. I knew because I knew it was couples.
Oh, yeah. But I think there is a scene where Seven sort of links hands with Raffi. I think when they're downstairs, right at the end.
Yeah, they do. Both of them do hold hands because I know they're both together. There's the two couples at the end. But yeah, I was having breakthroughs as to who's holding whose hand. But there was two, there was definitely two couples. It's kind of funny that that the same within a period of, was it January? In this period of 3 months, you got the first openly lesbian characters in Star Wars with Skywalker, and now they're doing it with Picard, which is in the Star Trek universe. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, it's kind of the only thing that they never really, all the other things that they made revolutionary, like the races on board the Enterprise. You had Uhura and you had Chekhov and Sulu, but they never
Scotty.
really, yeah, and they never really sort of, what? Oh, sorry about this. Go.
And we're back. Which
Sorry
is
about that.
okay.
Well,
Where were we? Yeah. Well, it seemed like just a pause. It's actually been a few minutes later. So it's yeah. Oh yeah. What about diversity in I was going to say diversity in a galaxy far, far away.
that's it. Yeah.
But it's not a galaxy far. Diversity on a 5-year. No, it's like 5-year mission. You scratch that to boldly go where no one has gone before. Bold. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was. That's what I was trying to say. It's weird that they never dabbled in the whole sexuality side of everything. I mean, I get that they were on like a syndicated Friday night slot in 1966, but even later on, they never really dabbled with exploring that stuff. And I think it's good that they do now.
Yeah. Everybody, you want to be considering science fiction fantasy is probably the most progressive one of the most progressive genres. It's kind of weird for them to leave this long, but then again, it's do whether or not if you put something in for the sake of it, it's like they made a character in the Power Rangers movie autistic, and the way that it was handled, I thought was absolutely terrible. When I say Power Rangers, I mean the rebooted one from a few years ago. It was kind of like brought to the attention rather than having it just slide in. So if it aids the plot, then it's like a lot of people ship Poe and Finn. Sexuality shouldn't really be come into the equation. If you think that Poe and Finn are gay, fair play to you. If they're not, they're not. It doesn't affect how I feel about the characters. If you know what I mean.
No.
So if you've got a gay or gay character, or LGBT or any of the movements, if you like the character, it really shouldn't affect it.
Yeah.
So that's where I see it. So if any character in a show or film that I like ends up, they say, oh, well, we're going to make the character this. If you've got enough invested in the characters and you like the characters so much, then it really shouldn't make a difference as to what their orientation is. You're defined by your actions and who you are as a person rather than. But it is good. But I also see the standpoint of the underrepresented in something like Star Trek. So it is good to have Star Trek going forward like the original series and the Gene Roddenberry ones, with being progressive in that sense. So it's good that it's continuing. Picard is continuing Gene Roddenberry's vision.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally. I think as well that it's good as well. One of the big twists I did like was making Picard into a synth, basically, like with his new body.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good, like because he is he's clocking on a bit, and so I think they needed an explanation to keep him going, and it sort of.
Yeah, and the same age and same. I thought it was very Blade Runner, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, I mean the whole arc for that season was really Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And then I kind of guessed we were going to see Brent Spiner as another version of another son.
Yeah.
Doctor. It was very Blade Runner.
Yeah, he was very. But it was good to see Brent Spiner actually playing a son that actually does good in the end, rather than just being a total.
Yeah, because I think they were kind of trying to make you think, oh, this guy's bad, but then he turns out he's actually okay.
Yeah. But it was interesting to see Agnes Jurati's arc, because I know her from Scott Pilgrim and the Goon movies.
Yeah, I forgot she was in the Goon.
Yeah.
I was trying to think where I'd seen her, because she looks a bit like Kristen Bell. I thought that's who it was at first, but I thought she had a really good arc, actually. The whole thing with Bruce Maddox and that, who's actually in a Next Generation episode. In season 2, it's one called Measure of a Man. It's one of the best ones, actually.
Is the same actor? Same actor?
No, it's a different actor now. But it's basically the one where Data goes on trial for being is he part of Starfleet's property, or is he actually a man?
Is it the one?
Picard has to argue his case. It's really good.
Is that the one where that's one where Riker's against him? He has to.
Yeah,
and he feels guilty at the end, but it ends up.
yeah, but if he hadn't done it, then
Mm.
he would have been sort of the case would have been forfeit.
Yeah.
So he actually saved the day, really.
I got me. You know, I mean, after watching Hunters, which was actually started off strong and it went down. You know, to actually see a show like Picard that actually captured my attention, especially in what they call boutique shows. Was that like what's the expression used now? These prestige shows. You know, the ones that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to actually see one that actually completely lives up. You were saying, got to go back a little bit. You were saying about how some of the fan bases they didn't like the whole the Jerry Ryan and Michelle Hurd kiss.
Yeah,
It's
just
very
the
weird.
standard, like the standard nonsense you get from people whenever there's something different happens.
I would have thought that people then would be more open. I would have thought the Star Trek fans, the true Star, well, maybe it's just like it with Star Wars, Game of Thrones, and Doctor Who, all the ones that call themselves fans, they just like to get stink on the internet if it doesn't follow.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think they're really fans because, I think we said this previously before, haven't we? That previously before, that's good grammar.
Yeah.
That Star Trek has a lot more sort of an amiable fan base, and the rest of them seem quite full of venom and vitriol, don't they?
Then against those Trekkies or Trekkers, I prefer the term Trekkies. They've always been the underdog to the galaxy far, far away since '77. So it's kind of like you have
Yeah,
unity, a little bit of unity. But I want to say,
yeah,
just want to say this about the Star Wars community. Or well having said that, is having been to conventions the last few years, Star Wars ones, that it's the hardcore fan bases in any community are the ones that will support and will not voice their opinions. It's just the ones that think that they own it. So I just
and
take
sadly
away.
they're the minority,
Yeah, but they just.
but it's them that gets reported more because we all like bad news, don't we?
Oh yes. So you know what? I'm going to say ranking system. What do you out of 10? Give it though. Say out of 5. Out of 5, what are you going to give Picard?
I'd give it a 4, definitely. It's good. I've been really impressed with it so far. So I think there's loads of room for them to go off in different directions. Now I think season 2 is going to be more like traditional Star Trek. Like we're going out and we're exploring stuff, and that sort. I think that'd be cool. Picard's back, ain't he? So
And he's got a new crew. I'm going to completely agree with you on that one. 4, maybe 4.5, because it completely drew me in, and like you, I got emotional. I got especially the episodes of where we see Deanna Troy, and we brought in what Picard and Troy have been going through, and I even like the whole thing with even Evagora, Elnor. I thought Elnor.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was such a strong character, and having him, and of course 7 of 9. So I thought that it brought the whole family thing back from and I compare. I hate to do this because as you know, I belong more to the galaxy far, far away. But the whole Riker and the whole family element of Picard reminded me so much of from The Force Awakens when the general in a dropship comes down. You just know that she's going to get off this dropship. Her and General Leia and Han Solo meeting together, and there's some time has passed, and it's just that emotional response that I actually got from Picard, seeing the crew as it did with Star Wars, and that's to me it is why I just thought it was perfect for that. So yeah.
I definitely picked up on the Force Awakens thing. Like I think it's good when they use the older cast to sort of push the new cast into the forefront. It's obviously Picard's show still, but it's nice that they've got that new crew with him. It's not just him calling up Geordie and Worf and all that, and then like getting them back. That would have been sort of just rehashy, but it was good. Yeah, like you say, like they're using the old cast to sort of highlight what the new cast should do or be. That sort of, I like that as well. I really like that. I like Captain Rios as well. I think he's set up to be quite a good character.
Very comedy relief Han Solo, but with he has got a side to him. It's a darker side.
Yeah. He seems like a sort of, they all seem like really good, sort of strong bases for characters, I think. So I'd say the only thing I would have done differently, and it's one of those things that's like, if you can possibly think of anything you could have done differently, but it doesn't matter kind of thing, is I would have thought it would have been really interesting to have Picard be on the side of the people that wanted to ban the synths, like to make him sort of change his mind a little bit in his old age maybe, and then give him the arc to come back and say, no, Data was my friend, and like I shouldn't be doing this, just having a bit of conflict and making him a bit different. But it's nothing that ruined it. It's still Patrick Stewart still in it, so I can't remember.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart can. Yeah, he's him and Ian McKellen. The two actors that I know they're both in X-Men, but the two actors, you can stick them in something and you'll naturally want to watch it because they are in it, and his voice,
screen presence.
Yeah, it's like even when he does voiceover work, like in the TED.
Yeah.
Or he's when he's animated in American Dad and playing himself in Family Guy. His Bullock in American Dad is brilliant.
Yeah, and you can tell he enjoys it as well. Like, he's not one of those stuffy old style actors. Like, I imagine he probably was to start with when Next Generation started. He seems like a guy you could actually go and have a beer with and have a laugh and that.
But he's got that oomph about that. I mean, how many people can come off a series like Star Trek Next Generation and then have a whole new generation think of him as Professor X?
Yeah.
And now and then become just being Patrick Stewart. People just want to watch him because of Patrick Stewart. So
I totally agree. It's the voice as well, isn't it? Like, when you hear the voice, you just think, oh, like a chill goes through you.
Oh yeah.
Like hearing Christopher Lee's voice.
Oh, Christopher Lee. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
So I think, okay. That's I think we were coming in just under 23 minutes on this one. So that's been. You got any final words?
No, just really impressed, and I think it's going to be. I think sadly it's a shame because I think it's going to sort of knock Discovery out of the water as well, because it's got Jean-Luc Picard in it, hasn't it? So
I will start watching.
Really do much better than that, can you?
Yep. Yeah, I will start watching Discovery soon. So
yeah, it's good, but it's overshadowed totally by this.
Oh yeah.
Even after one season,
So that's been it. That's Picard season finale and another little roundup of Star Trek Picard. See you all in another High Ground podcast.
Bye.